Hi, my name is Ozzy. In 2006, I purchased this brand new, then, 2006 Sportster 883. In 2007, I upgraded the intake and the exhaust, but it still was an 883. I did a video back then with the idea of showing you what the sound was like before and after. Since then, I've done the 1200 conversion, and what I'm going to do today is take that old video to give you a before and after the exhaust and intake and after the conversion, so you can get an idea what the sound is like. Before I do that though, I'm going to make a few comments about the conversion and answer some questions I've had along the way. One of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people say, hey, purchase 1200 right off. And there's some merit to that. If you know exactly what you're getting into, if you know you want a Sportster, if you know that you plan on sticking with a Sportster, and you have some experience riding, then absolutely I'd say go ahead and get a 1200 right out of the gate. You won't have to do all of the aftermarket customization that I've had to do. However, if you're not sure that you're going to stick with a Sportster, if you haven't ridden for a long time, and I was that in both cases, then it might be in your best interest to go ahead and purchase an 883. It's a lower investment, and it's relatively easy to get rid of it if you need to. As far as doing the upgrades, I've done a lot of reading that says it's less expensive to do the upgrades down the road, but I'm here to tell you from experience, it's not. You're going to end up spending approximately the same amount unless you do it yourself. I had it done for me. If you do it yourself, you might save a little money, but if you have it done, you're not going to save any money, and additionally you'll get a few extra things from the 1200, such as possibly the 4.5 gallon tank. You'll get 2-up seating, passenger pillions, upgraded rims, things along those lines. So the short answer for that is that's a personal decision. Just think about it before you jump one way or the other. Another big question series dealt with fuel economy. Speaking from my experience, I got about 45 miles per gallon based on the way that I ride it right out of the gate. When I did the exhaust and intake, there was virtually no change. When I got the 1200 conversion done, I actually did it in 2 stages. The first stage was that I got the heads ported in plane, and I had the jugs bored out to the 1200 cylinders. When I did that, my mileage dropped down from 45 down to about 35. The next stage that I got done was that I had the cams installed. When I got the cams installed, I told my mechanic that I didn't want any further deterioration, so he installed the cams and he put a more restrictive jet in my carburetor, which actually gives me the same power that I had before changing the cams, but my mileage increased from 35 to 40. Down the road, I may restrict it a little bit more, but I haven't decided yet. Now, with that said, I'm going to take a second and put in the old videos so you can get an idea of what the old sounded like before anything done bone stock, and so you can get an idea what it sounds like after the exhaust and intake was done. And after we return from that, I'll fire this up and you can hear what it sounds like now. As you can hear, the idle's pretty tame. I barely raised my voice. And once you give it a little gas, it still doesn't sound extremely exciting. It's idle. Maybe a little bit, talking a little bit louder, but it's not a big difference. Let's go ahead and give it a little gas. Well, as you can see, it sounds substantially the same. The differences that I've noticed is that there's a little bit more bass, so to speak. You know, the tone in the idle is a little bit lower, and there's also a little bit more low, courtesy of the new cams. One thing that you'll notice is that there's still kind of a loud ticking sound, which I've had many people on the original video ask me about. For clarification, the ticking is absolutely normal. You don't hear it on every single Sportster. I don't know what makes it happen in some and not others, but it is absolutely normal. As a matter of fact, I've read and totally agree with an analogy where some people say that at speed, the Harley Sportster engine sounds a lot like a sewing machine because you get the whine and the tick. And I think that's pretty apt. If that noise really bothers you, then I'm going to tell you what other people have told me. Just get louder exhaust. But I will tell you this. If you run straight exhaust, hey, you're going to turn heads. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. But the big thing is, running straight exhaust is going to cost you a little bit of horsepower. So if you want a loud bike, hey, that's great. The reason that I'm running with the quieter pipes is because I'm more of a horsepower junkie than a sound junkie. That's all I've got for now. If you do have any questions, feel free to post them and I will answer them as time allows. Once again, I'm Ozzy and this is my 2006 Sportster. I would like to thank Tim Carlson of Carlson Customs in Atkins, Iowa for doing the work for me. He did a great job and I would heartily recommend him. And thanks for tuning in.